Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up ServiceMate. We're going to run through how we configure this app. We're going to do this within about a time frame of half an hour. So if you haven't heard of ServiceMate, I'm going to play you a quick video here. You can find this on ServiceMate's website or my own. So let's click play and we'll run through this.
ServiceMate is an app for trades and service businesses. Manage your jobs, staff, customers and invoicing in one simple solution from anywhere, anytime. See real-time staff locations. Manage staff schedules. Access customer and job details on site. Create professional quotes and invoices. And even sync with your accounting package. So how does it work? Let's imagine Jane has just caught up with an issue. Maybe her tab is broken.
Okay, so you get the idea. You can continue to watch that video by going to the website davidgregory.media, or you can look on YouTube, many videos on ServiceMate from the ServiceMate channel itself. So what you're going to have to do to register for an account, you can get a free trial of ServiceMate. So again, if you go to davidgregory.media and then you hit on this tab just here above the YouTube video, you click on this and it'll take you to the ServiceMate page to get a free trial. So currently there is an extension of the free trial due to the COVID-19 epidemic, but in any case you would just need to contact a service provider such as myself and we would be able to extend that trial for you. So let's go through this process and you're going to go and create an account. So we're going to create a dummy account here. So I'm going to go and say David Gregory, and we're going to use an email address here. So once you start your free trial, you'll go to the login page. You'll hit login, and you'll need to go and populate all of your company details. So we're going to go through this as quickly as possible. So the first thing that happens when you log in is you get presented with this dashboard. So everyone sees the same dashboard, and what you get is a series of tuition videos that helps you through this process as well. But what I'm going to do is fast track this process and get you to where you need to go straight away. So the first thing you want to do is go over to settings. So when you go to settings, you'll be presented with all of the different configurations that are capable within ServiceMate. So don't be alarmed if you don't see the same cards as what you see on my screen here. Everyone has a different setup within their ServiceMate. So the first thing we need to do is go into preferences. The very first thing you want to do is then configure all of your business settings. Go down through your company information here. ABN number, website address, email, accounts, phone number. You adjust your business hours, you put your address, and you can put your company logo here that gets attached to all of your invoices and quotes. So then we go into email settings. This is just the same as an email signature. When you send emails to and from ServiceMate, you can connect this to your existing email inbox, and or ServiceMate has its own email that will get tied to your email address, so it does keep a record of all emails sent to and from your email address within your own email inbox and ServiceMate's email inbox. Invoicing. So at the moment, we've just selected the standard invoicing template. So we leave all these configurations as is. Your invoicing term will populate on the invoice. If you do less than 30 days, you can change this to 14, 7 days, cash on delivery, prepaid. It depends on how you run your business. So one of the things we will do is show you how to connect Stripe for processing EFTPOS payments. So this is not a card reader, this is a merchant gateway. So what that means is you can enter in the Master or Visa debit card details and process of payment that way. Now, if you do have an EFTPOS machine, you can tick EFTPOS as being one of these, but not everyone does this. So at the moment, we're just going to select MasterCard, Visa. We're going to select, well, obviously that's a debit card as well, cash. Check if you're still using the old-fashioned method of accounting, but not many people do that these days. This question here, who should appear on the invoice billing address for corporate customers? So what we want to do is just leave this as default to job billing contact, and we'll go through that in a moment. Invoicing format, we can just leave that as default as well. So this would be the business number plus the job number. So if you wanted to also put the price of the job in there as well, you can select this option. And if you wanted to exclude the business name, you can select this option here. But the best thing to do really is to have one of these two options, job number or job number plus price. And we hit save whenever you make a change. Here we go to job settings. So here you've got the option to start every job as either a quote or as a work order. So the workflow generally should be from a quote, because you always quote your clients before you turn them into work orders. However, if you run a different operation that just issues jobs on the fly, then you can start as a work order as your first action when you're creating new jobs. We leave this as default, job suffix and prefix, and arrival window. This gives every job an approximate time of 2 hours. You can adjust this on the dispatch board, so we just leave this as default by 2 hours. Notifications, what you want to do is tick notify admin, which will be you, the account holder, for both options here with Stripe. That's your payment notifications, and replies from customers. So before we mentioned about email notifications and putting in your email, what would happen is when somebody responds to a quote or an invoice that has been generated from ServiceMate, you will also get notified via email and through your app here in this little inbox window there. So we want to include this. So quotes and estimates. Again, this is how the quotes will be named. This is the business name plus the job number plus the job price. Region and language settings speak for themselves. Tax settings, obviously you have the tax rate, which would be GST inclusive or exclusive, and if you're in another country, of course, your tax rules would apply. So that's all we need to do for preferences at the moment. We hit save. Outside of here, just got to wait for this to save. Okay, so we go back to settings. So the next card to look at is document templates on the left. We go into here, and this will be your invoice and quote templates. So for here, there's basically three major templates that you need to be concerned about. One is creating an invoice, one is creating a quote, one is creating a work order. So you'll be able to do all of this within your smartphone, your iPhone, or your iPad, a tablet. So you've got your work order template here, and you can go through and browse what template suits your business. So at the moment, you can see that the company logo that we uploaded previously will go here, and it's a pretty plain looking template here for a work order, so you can go through and see which other templates may look a bit more professional for you. One that's satisfactory, I like the look of this one, so I'm going to use this template. Now, what you have to do within the invoice selection is include your banking details. So we're going to choose a different template here. I like the look of this one. So We're going to use this template, and then we're going to go down to the bank details here, and you have to make sure you include your bank details, BSB, account number, and your payment terms if you have payment terms here. So then once you've done this, you hit Save Template Settings, and now we can move on to the next important part of ServiceMate. So from here, we'll come back to SMS templates and email templates. From here, we want to go straight to add-ons over here. We're going to go and select a bunch of added features that will help you streamline your trade or service-based business. And then you'll see some more cards populate within that settings panel. So as you can see, I've already turned on forms. I've already turned on Stripe payments. I've already turned on staff leave. Now we're going to turn this off to show you as an example. So things that you don't use, we can turn off. And then we can go through and select the options that we need. So zero integration, so we're going to turn that on because that's our account keeping integration. So what will happen by activating this is we'll be prompted to connect to Xero. If you use MyOb or QuickBooks, you also have that option. And this will streamline and automatically sync your invoice and remittances within your accounting package and your app. So you can issue invoices on the fly, on the job, and process payments, and that goes straight to Xero. So therefore, streamlining and reducing the workload for your bookkeeping purposes and for your bookkeeper. So we can't go through this process right now with Xero because every person will have their own personal accounting package, and you'll have to go and log into there and connect that. So there's resources on the ServiceMate page on how to specifically do that, and or if you engage a ServiceMate partner such as David Gregory Media, you provide those confidential details and that we can sync your accounting package for you. So we go down to badges. You want to make sure badges has been turned on. You want to make sure your self-serve online booking is turned on. Services is a feature we want turned on. Automation is a feature we want turned on. In the beginning, it's not necessary to do partial progress invoicing. It becomes a little bit more advanced, as is the advanced reporting pack. Email inbox is a good option to turn on if you would think you would benefit from having your jobs emailed directly to your ServiceMate inbox versus via your website. If you want to connect an existing calendar such as Google Calendar and or your Apple Calendar, you can turn this on, but it's not necessarily. Track My Arrival is a very, very good add-on. We want to turn that on because that will give an indication to your clients. It sends them a little SMS and it lets them know that one of your staff is on the way, and this form of communication is really professional and it really provides a high level of service and thus shows a professional, well-oiled machine when you, enable this type of client communication. And this is all automated, by the way, so you don't have to worry about remembering to communicate per se. Let's go down a little bit further and see what else you might want to add. We don't need to add any of these. Referral program, partner review, plumbing, asset management. Now, asset management's only necessary for if let's say that you were an air conditioning installer and you needed to label the air conditioning machine with a barcode or the condenser with the barcode on a commercial property, because this is something that you go back to and service from time to time, and you want to keep track of the assets that are on site. So that's a bit more of an advanced feature, and we can explain that within another tutorial, but you don't need to worry about that. Automated supply import, if you're a plumber, Reese Plumbing works great with this. Knowledge base is good for creating tutorials within your own business. So you would upload and record processes, document how you do things on site, and therefore your apprentices and or staff can refer back to that if they cannot remember how to do something. Simple online inquiry, we want to turn this feature on. So this is means of a booking form via a web page and or Facebook. So if you have a Facebook page for your business, you not yet have a website, but you want to take bookings, rather than people contacting you via Messenger and having to communicate via the inconvenient platform on Facebook, you can put your booking link on your Facebook page, and that'll take the inquiry directly into your ServiceMate, and you can deploy a job and or quote within one click. So now that we've selected a number of add-ons, we want to go back to the settings page, and we're going to configure some of these settings. So let's go to automations. So this is something that will help streamline your business and your communications. So something we want to turn on is the booking reminder. So straight away we'll turn that on, and then we can edit the message that gets sent out to your clients. So you have the option to send them a text message and an email, and we'll go through this process. It's a wizard, so you just follow the wizard, hit next. So this will send a text message up to 8 hours before the booking, and we'll send an email 24 hours before the booking. So what will happen if the job is the first job of the day, let's say it's at 8 a.m., it's not going to send a text message at midnight, it'll send it the day before. Same with the email. The email gets sent out 24 hours before the job, so that's not a problem there. You won't be disturbing your clients, you will be communicating with them at a reasonable time. So we hit the next button. You can adjust that, of course, if you want to adjust that to 4 hours or 12 hours. And then you have a message here. So within the message, anything you see within brackets, I encourage you not to delete that, because basically it's taking the information from the job that you have booked and it's pulling that data in. So that would say, hi, John Smith, just a quick reminder, your David Gregory Media booking is confirmed for the 27th of April at 1 p.m. Please email us at davidgregorymedia@gmail.com on the phone number if you have any questions. So it pulls in that data using those field codes that are within the bracket. So you can't delete any of these, but you can adjust the message to whatever suits you. If you wanted to do something like, say, how was our service? Please leave us a review at, and then you would put your Google review link here. Google review link. And you'll do something similar within your email as well. And you would put that at the bottom of your email reminder. So this is a very good way to be able to encourage people to leave your business with Google reviews, and the more reviews you get, the higher your chances are of turning positive results within the Google My Business platform. So let's just quickly look at this, and I can give you an example. So when somebody searches something within Google, you will obviously, if they're looking for a service, you will see that Google produces these results where someone can quickly go and say, okay, I want directions to that, say, shop or cafe, wherever it is. You can see that there's a bunch of reviews here. There's 56 Google reviews. You can see the opening hours. You can see products that they've posted on Google. What you have here is a certain review link that you can copy and paste into this platform. So, for example, there's a click to copy link here. So this is the Google review link. So you would copy that link here. You would go back into your ServiceMate settings here, and you would, this certain phrase there, Google review link, we hit the URL insert button, copy the Google page review link into this, and you can see now that that email will have a clickable link, so that when the email gets sent out to the clients, you can then prompt them to do that. So text message is a little different. You can't actually insert a link, but you can just copy and paste the same thing, and within their SMS message, it'll appear the same. So you want to do this also for your quote and invoice templates as well. If you just copy and paste that link, save it somewhere that you can use a little bit later. Hit the next button on the wizard. And it tells you that the wizard has been complete. Text message reminder will be sent 8 hours before the scheduled booking. Text messages will only be sent between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Email reminder will be sent 24 hours before scheduled booking. Reminders will only be sent for jobs with the booking reminder badge applied. So this is this circular badge here, booking reminder. So just remember this little green dot, and we'll get to that a little bit later during this tutorial. So we also have payment follow-up automations and quote follow-up automations. So what some businesses face is they go out and quote a lot of jobs, maybe 2, 3, 4 jobs during the day, and it might be weeks or months before they follow up that particular quote, simply because they're too busy on the job doing, whatever the day-to-day businesses are. So ServiceMate has a feature that you can set a period of time where it will follow up that quote just by means of sending a friendly email. So we're going to turn that on. Go to Edit. And there is a default template, and we can just use those simple default settings. So we can do this via email and text as well. So we can have this to send text message follow-up 4 hours after quote sent. Now that would be very, very, very pushy. So we're going to change that to say days, and we're going to say 14 days. So a 14-day period to follow up on a quote is a pretty good time. It's allowing them about a week to make their mind up, and then not being too pushy, following up another week after that. So send email follow-up, you would do the same, 14 days. If you want to do 7 days, you can. If you want to do 30 days, you can. Go to next. Again, it'll provide you with a template with the field codes within brackets. Again, you don't want to delete these because these are important pieces of data that get pulled from the job cards, but you can, anything outside of the brackets, you can adjust accordingly. Again, if you want to put the review link, you can do that down the bottom. If you wanted to write, please review our services at, click here, highlight this text, you hit the link button as we did before, you go back to your Google review page. So just to show you that again, so you've gone to your Google My Business listing, you've gone to get more reviews, and there's a link here to copy. Very effective form of marketing. Put the link in here. And again, then you've got a clickable link within this email message. Hit next. Setup complete. So ServiceMate has a lot of these wizards. They're very simple to follow. You don't have to be a computer whiz to follow this. You just simply have to know the process that we're walking you through at the moment. What is the best practice to make this app really benefit your business as fast as possible? Payment follow-up, we also follow the same principle here. Now, you can decide to turn this on or off. Some people don't like to bug their, say, contracting clients that they issue invoices to. So this is entirely up to your best business practices, but for cash flow, it's highly recommended that we send these text and email follow-ups, let's say 30 days after invoice due date. So this is a matter of opinion here, but if one of your clients is not paying an invoice post 30 days, there should not be a problem with sending these emails to prompt them to pay your invoices. So as a matter of fact, I would encourage 14 days, but if you want to be a bit more conservative, 30 days is a very good idea. And so you can be as polite or as abrupt as you want within this message. Again, don't delete any of the content that's within the brackets. Just change the text to suit your business. So at the moment, this says email message, dear job first contact. So dear Mr. John Smith, I'm writing to request the payment of our invoice number. We realise that this payment may have been overlooked. However, your account is now overdue. We would appreciate it if you could arrange the funds to be deposited into our account today and reply with the payment details. Now, that's a pretty strong statement. So let's go and delete that or change it to however you want. And then we hit next. And again, this text message and email will be sent 30 days after the invoice due date. So important to know, this isn't 30 days after you have issued the invoice, 30 days after the due date. So in preferences, we put payment terms to 14 days. So that would mean at 44 days after you've generated the invoice, they're getting a text and email set up. So therefore, this is why I would recommend setting this to 14 days, because you've got your payment terms at 14 days and then you're allowing them an extra 2 weeks grace past that. So that means your cash flow has been held up for a total of 4 weeks. So that's more than enough time for someone to be paying their invoices if you are issuing accounts, that is. So outside of that, we're going to show you how to connect Stripe, which is the payment gateway that will enable you to take cash on premises. Or sorry, not cash, to take payment on premises with a debit or Visa card. So that's 4 of these automations set up. So we're going to go back to settings. And if you remember when we did the booking reminder configuration, the booking reminder wizard, there was a little green dot which was called a badge. So this is the section where you configure your badges. And for this particular account, this demo account, you can see that we've got, a bunch of different badges here that your app will use, your iPad and your iPhone will use. So at the moment, you can see we've got the booking reminder set up. We've got assets, VIP, warranty. So I'm not going to use VIP. I don't think that's necessary. So I'm going to take that off. These form badges, that's something else that we will go through at a later date. Take payment facilities. This is something that we may or may not need. So whatever you do need, you get rid of. Warranty, variation, we don't want variations. So they're the only badges that I want at the moment. JSAs we need to keep, of course. VSM check, we don't need that. SR is a custom badge that I've created myself, so we're going to delete that. So we've only got like 4 or 5 badges here, and that's sufficient. So where you'll see these badges are within the dispatch board when you're creating a job. So I'll quickly show you where you'll see these badges so that you have a reference of where they will go, but we won't go into the job cards in detail just yet. So when you first set up a demo account within ServiceMate, every time you go onto a new page, it walks you through the basics of that particular page itself. So as you can see, this is automatically deployed a tuition video here. And as you go through these videos on the home screen, they'll get ticked off so that you are well aware that you've gone through the proper education to use the platform. So I'm going to close this off. We're going to go to this test job here at the moment. So this is your job card. We can see here it's job number 1. And so within all those field codes that we set within the wizards that were the SMS reminders and the email reminders, payment follow-up reminders, it is pulling the data from here. It's pulling up the customer name, it's pulling up the address, all this data gets pulled into those templates, therefore saving you the necessity to have to do this. So let's go back to the badges. Now, if you look to the right of this job card here, you can see these badges. So if you recall that I deleted badges that were not being used and we left just 6 in total. We had the warranty badge, ATP, JSA, assets, service request, and booking reminder. So booking reminder was this automation. At the moment, they're all grayed out. They have to be solid color for them to be on. So at the moment, now that I've highlighted this customer, David Gregory, will get the SMS reminder and email reminder once that job has been booked. Now, I know that this is on a building site, so I'm also going to highlight JSA, and that's going to prompt the technician to go through a JSA. It's going to force them to go through a JSA, in fact. So you can make this a compulsory action for every single job within the settings of the form and badge. However, if JSA is only required, say 50% of the time, this could be a hindrance to your field staff, and therefore you may have to manually turn this feature on and off per job. So it's not a huge deal. You just go through as you're booking the job and you say, yes, this is a warranty job. Yes, I need a JSA, and yes, we want to have a booking reminder. So we hit the save button there, and they will be reminded of that job in due course. So we won't go through the dispatch board. This is not the purpose of this tutorial. This is just teaching you how to configure this as fastly as possible to get you to deploy your staff out in the field as quickly as possible. So the last thing we want to go through for this particular tutorial is the email templates. So we've already gone through document templates, we've already gone through SMS templates, and now we're in email templates. So within this, none of these are automations. So these are simply templates that will be saved within your app and within a dispatch board so that you can quickly write emails when you need to do this. So we've got 4 different templates. We've got overdue payment, payment demand, standard invoice, standard quote. So your standard quote and your standard invoice are just, it is what it says it is. It's just a standard quote invoice template. Dear job contact, thank you for your inquiry. We're providing you with the following estimate, and it has the total price there. You can view and accept it. So you don't have to change this if you don't want to. The only other thing I would recommend is obviously putting your review link down the bottom again. So if you remember this process, you can put the whole link there like this, or you can type review link and insert the URL here. So however you want to do that. And we hit save changes. So you do the same for the invoice. So payment demand and overdue payment. So this is similar. So the overdue payment template, if you recall, we set up the automation for the overdue payment. So that's very different to the payment demand. So this is the one we set for 30 days. So payment demand template, so this is a manual process, and this is if someone still has ignored your friendly reminders, you can save this as a template to say, we haven't heard, and we will be blocking your services in the future. However you want to do this, if you want to use stern words or if you want to be as friendly as possible, but post 44 days, I think there's a bigger problem. So once you've configured those email templates, essentially you're ready to go. You can go and deploy this. So there are still a bunch of things that we can optimize and configure. Some of these would be assets we would go through, and you could add as many services as your business may provide. So let's say if you provide, say, 10 core services, you can go and pre-fill those services so that your staff can simply add them. Let's say if it's a PowerPoint, you're an electrician, you charge $300 for a PowerPoint, you can, rather than have your staff go and enter in individual invoice details, they can just select a pre-filled service from there. So we're not going to go into that for this tutorial as it's getting a little bit long. I'll show you where these badges are, where these cards are found, and how you can go through these when you have the time. And we can go through each one of these in an individual tutorial should you require any further service. So briefly, staff, here is where you go and add your staff. You give them, you invite your staff by adding their email address, mobile phone number. It'll invite them to use the app, and you can add as many staff as you like. There's no limit to the amount of staff that you can add. You don't have to pay per user. It's only one payment, your monthly subscription for the plan that you decide to go for. Security roles, so this is a bit more of an advanced feature, and basically you can leave these as default. When you're selecting your staff, it'll ask you what security role. Do you want them to see all about your business? Do you want to make them see only dispatch and jobs, and not enable them to see any pricing, that sort of stuff? So leaving that as default is fine. You don't have to go any further into that. Job queues, I'll show you where you can find out more information about that. Materials and services is the same. Job categories is the same. You can ignore this. This custom fields is programmable features that are only available to ServiceMate partners such as myself. You won't have access to be able to customize anything in that fashion. Badges we've gone through, automation we've gone through, assets, I won't go through that for this tutorial. Add-ons we've gone through. Online inquiry is not for this tutorial. Online booking is not for this tutorial. Services we've discussed. ServiceMate account, this is where you change all of your subscription details, and if you want to upgrade or downgrade your plan according to how your business is growing or declining. Hopefully it's not declining. Hopefully ServiceMate enables you to grow your business, but you still have the option to upgrade and downgrade nonetheless. We've gone through email templates, we've gone through SMS templates, we've gone through document and preferences. The only other two advanced features of ServiceMate that we haven't gone through is forms. Forms in itself is at least an hour's tutorial. This is probably one of the most powerful features of ServiceMate. However, it does require a bit of customization, and to show you where to find out information about this, all you need to do is you go up into the question mark box here. This is where the help section is, and you can go to video help. So if you click here, any one of these links will take you through to a contact partner. So a contact partner is someone such as myself. The Help Center has all the documentation, updates for software updates, and any news that's been released, learning roadmap to teach you more, similar to what I've taught you here, and video help basically is the go-to for live demonstrations of each different section. So that's where you can go through and see, things that we just discussed, like staff. I just discussed staff with you. Invoice and quote templates we've discussed. Security roles, as I said, you can go through here and can learn about the security roles. You can learn about how to create jobs, how to schedule jobs, job status. All of these things are at your fingertips, so therefore we won't be going through them on this tutorial. So there's a wealth of information here. Hopefully this has provided you with some insight into how to configure this app. As you can see, this tutorial has taken just under 45 minutes, and so that initially should enable you to go from downloading the app to configuring a complete CRM system for trade and service-based businesses within 45 minutes. And then you should be able to go out into the field and deploy this within your 2-week free trial period to be able to test this out risk-free. And if you are still on the learning curve of this, you can contact the support partner. As you can see up here, you'll get a little notification, get professional assistance from DG Media, that's me, that'll contact me, and I can enable you with an extra 2-week extension. Only ServiceMate partners can provide this, and we can make sure that you hit the ground running. Any questions, please drop me a line at davidgregorymedia@gmail.com. Thank you.